Hello students, in this module we will be introduced to new form of presenting data, that is Ogive curve. Ogive curve are of two types, that is more than type frequency curve and less than type frequency curve. As the name reminds us of more than type cumulative frequency and less than type cumulative frequency, that will help us to draw the Ogive curve. To understand it in a proper way, let's consider a sum. The following distribution gives the daily income of 50 workers of a factory in the form of the table. And we need to convert the frequency to less than type cumulative frequency and draw its ogive. Moving ahead with the sum, first we will prepare the table. Now for preparing the table, the class interval is considered as daily income and number of workers are considered as frequency. Once we are done with daily income as class interval and number of workers as frequency, to convert the given frequency to less than type, we will be using the concept that we have learnt in previous module, that is whenever we want to convert the frequency to less than type cumulative frequency, we consider the first frequency in the frequency column and we write it as it is. Then we add that cumulative frequency to the next frequency, that is 14, and we get 26, which is the subsequent cumulative frequency. Now 26 is added to 8. Once we add 26 to 8, we get 34. After that, we add 6, we get 40, and 40 added to 10, we get 50. Once we get the cumulative frequency of less than type. After that, for less than type, we consider the upper limit. Remember student, whenever we are drawing the ogive of less than type cumulative frequency, we will consider the upper limits, that is 120, 140, 160, 180 and 200. But only upper limit or cumulative frequency won't give you the ogive curve. For getting the ogive curve, we need to identify the points, and points we will be getting using the upper limit and its corresponding cumulative frequency, that is 120, 12, 140, 26, 160, 34, 180, 40 and 200, 50 are the points to be plotted in order to get less than type cumulative frequency ogive. For that, let's consider these points, and we will be plotting x-axis 2 cm above the bottom, and we will be marking at it as daily income. And we are going to consider a vertical line 2 cm from left hand side, and we mark it as y-axis, and we name it as number of workers. After that, we will mark the limits of the class interval, that is 120, 140, 160, 180 and 200. As we can see, the difference between 120 and 140 is 20. Subsequent difference is also 20 till the last is 20. But when we talk about the difference between the origin and the first upper limit, that is 120, is actually 120. Since the difference between the origin and the first point marked is not the same, therefore we use a kink, which is represented by this symbol. After that, for plotting the points on y-axis, we consider the highest value in y coordinate, that is 50. Based on that, we consider the scale, and based on that scale, we do the marking on y-axis, that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That's it. And we can see the scale of x-axis is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 rupees. Therefore, we can see the difference between two units or two marking is 20 rupees, that is 2 centimeter. And y-axis scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 5 worker. Now, once we are ready with these, after that we start plotting the points. The first point that we plot is 120, 12. 120 on x-axis and 12 on y-axis. So we get the point, we mark it as 120, 12. The second point is 140 and we consider the y coordinate as 26 and we mark 140, 26. Subsequently, we mark 160, 34. Then we mark 180, 40, and the last one is 200, 50. Once we plot all these points, we just need to join them using a smooth curve like this. With this, we now know how to draw ogive curve of less than frequency type. After that, for learning more than frequency type ogive curve, let's consider one sum. The following table give production yield per hectare of wheat of 100 farms of a village in the tabular form. Now, change the distribution to more than type distribution and draw its ogive. For that, let's draw the table. Production yield will be considered as class interval and number of farms will be considered as frequency. And as it is stated in the sum, we need to convert the frequency to more than type. And we remember, for calculating the frequency of more than type, we start from the bottom. We write 16 plus 38, we get 54. 54 plus 24 will give me 78. 78 plus 12 will give me 90. 90 plus 8 will give me 98. And 98 plus 2 will give me 100. And the most important feature of more than cumulative frequency is they are in descending order. After that, for plotting more than type, remember student, for plotting more than type ogive, we need to consider the lower limit, that is 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 and 75. With lower limit and corresponding cumulative frequency, we get points to be plotted, that is 50, 100, 55, 98, 60, 90, 65, 78, 70, 54 and 75, 16. Based on these points, we will plot more than frequency type ogive curve. For that, let's first draw x-axis 2 cm above the bottom and we name it as production yield. After that, let's draw a vertical line 2 cm from the left side and we name it as number of farms. Based on x-axis, we start plotting the points starting with 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. As we can see, the difference between 50 and 55 is 5 and all the subsequent difference between the limits is 5. But when we talk about the difference between origin and the first lower limit is 50, which is not same as the difference of the other intervals. Therefore, we use kink to manage the gap. After that, we see the biggest value of y coordinate and accordingly we select the scale and we do the marking on x-axis. For this, we mark the first point at 1 centimeter of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 and 110. Once we are ready with these, we mention the scale. As we can see, x-axis 2 cm 5 kg per hectare and y-axis 1 cm is equal to 10 farms. Let's plot the first point, that is 50, 100. 50 as x coordinate and 100 as y coordinate. We plot the first point. After that, subsequent coordinate 55, 98. After that, 60, 90. Then comes 65, 78. 70, 54. And the last one is 75, 16. The moment we plot all these points, we need to join these points with smooth curve. Once we join the points with smooth curve, our frequency, more than type frequency ogive curve is ready. With this, we would conclude this module.